that one going?
Much the same as the one at Anfield. I was at the game at Anfield, and I think it'll go the same way. I think Liverpool have most of the ball, won't they? Tottenham will be able to soak up quite a bit of pressure. Depends how well Liverpool play. If they've got well enough to break them down, but if they don't, Liverpool, Spurs are so dangerous as well on the break. And they had some great chances, didn't they, at Anfield, with Kane, I think Bergwijn as well, and hit the post. But yeah, it was a great result for Liverpool. But it's going to be an intriguing one and probably more of the same.
Yeah, I mean, from a Liverpool perspective, I mean, a lot's gone wrong this season with injuries and a little bit of a sticky patch over the last few weeks. I mean, where do you stand on where Liverpool are at the moment? Is it just a little bit of a blip, or is there something deeper there at the moment?
No, I can't say there's anything deeper. I think the amount of the stuff gets talked about them I think it's goes way overboard. I think there is definitely an issue there. They're not playing anywhere near the way they can. I think they've just been so good over the last 2-3 years. Beating City to one of the best City teams that we've ever seen, one of the best teams we've ever seen in the Premier League. I think that was incredible. To match them toe to toe the year before last and then to win it has been amazing. And set so many incredible standards. But probably one of the reasons why they did win the league or did turn themselves around was defensively was Van Dijk and the goalkeeper, and they've had the injury problems. And I think taking the midfield out, ripping such an amazing partnership with Henderson and Firmino, to take them and put them at centre half, I think that takes something out of the midfield, and from then it probably just breeds a bit of confidence. Really, you're missing the big man at the back, you're missing maybe your two key central midfield players, and then maybe a lack of form from certain players, and the goals have dried up front, haven't they? So it's a combination of a lot of factors, but they're just too good not to come back. And I think obviously there's things that need to be looked at perhaps in the summer, maybe to freshen things up, without doubt, because you've got to keep improving all the time. But the mainstay of that team is world class, and they'll get back to where they are, no doubt.
Yeah, I mean, you've obviously had centre-back problems for all season, really. Van Dijk and Gomez getting injured in October, and it's unlikely that they're going to play again this season. I mean, Jurgen Klopp's gone on record a couple of times recently and said that he'd like a centre-back. Can you understand why the owners haven't sanctioned one, considering, this is the manager who's brought them the Premier League title, and he's after a centre-back, and they're not they're either unwilling or unable to provide them with one?
Yeah, I think the criticism's probably a little bit unfair of them not bringing one in. They're obviously trying. They have to be. I mean, it was earmarked definitely, without doubt, that they need a centre back. It's clear for everyone to see. But what I like about the way Liverpool have gone about their business in recent years is it's been firstly, there's been no panic buying, has there? It's never once have you thought, well, they're just trying to fill a gap there. Every single buy seems to have had a point or a reason, or it's always improved the team. They've always had a good attitude. There's so many factors to a Liverpool signing, and a lot of them have been eyebrow raising, haven't they? You thought, there's a lot of money for Mane. It's a lot. Salah didn't cut it at Chelsea, or there's plenty of reasons why Man City didn't want to buy Van Dijk because they thought it was overpriced. So I think, listen, the last thing we should do is start undermining Liverpool's transfer policy, because it's been first class in recent years, and I don't think they want to go ahead and buy someone that might either upset the dressing room or be a stopgap when it's clear that they need one. They need a centre back desperately, but I think it's we have to have a little bit of faith in the people that buy players at Liverpool.
Yeah, plenty of talk then about Roberto Firmino's form over the last few weeks, and to be fair, over the last few months. I mean, you've been there yourself at Anfield, where the goals aren't quite flying in. I mean, how did you get yourself out of it, and how will Roberto Firmino, turn it around?
Yeah, I think I'll probably get out of my draft a different way to the way Firmino would do it. I used to go for about 8 pints with my dad after every game and try and forget about it. I don't think he's going to do that. But listen, I had it was such a difficult time in my career when I first signed for Liverpool and went through a drought like that. These players, they're not going to have that. It's not going to happen. They're too good not to. But certainly with Firmino, there's definitely an issue, because when the other two aren't scoring, it sort of highlights maybe his lack of goals. I mean, he's never been prolific, has he? But he brings so much to the team. He's a joy to watch. Absolutely love watching him play. When he's playing with a smile on his face, I think when he's got a little bit of pressure on him, which maybe he has now, and people are looking at him and stuff, it's it takes that sort of enjoyment, that freedom maybe out of his game. I think that's possibly what we're seeing at the moment. Salah and Mane's numbers have been that good. They've sort of papered over maybe that his lack of goal scoring, and it's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is at the moment. I think losing Jota was a big issue because he came in and really freshened things up and put everyone back on their toes. So that was a real disappointment to lose him when he did.
Yeah, I was going to ask about Jota actually. I mean, he's made a flying start to his Liverpool career before the injury. I mean, Liverpool need him back on the pitch as soon as possible, surely.
Yeah, that's another great sign, isn't it? It's not someone that everyone was after. The Chelseas, the Cities. I don't think anyone was. They weren't fighting for him, were they? And it was another great sign. He came in and just set the place on fire straight away, didn't he? It was brilliant. It was great to watch, and losing him was a big blow because he definitely freshened things up. But I think it just shows how much sort of a good signing can sort of can help the whole squad, because when he came in, it was definitely a lot better, wasn't it? And I think that's definitely needed, but it's not something that Liverpool do in January is go and panic buy, is it? And they obviously haven't.
Yeah, just finally then, Peter. I mean, it's 15 years this year since you signed for Liverpool. Looking at the current crop now,